Producer or consumer? Hey everybody, Coach Brew here, bringing you another episode of Windshield Wisdom. Are you a producer or are you a consumer? Tell you which one you ought to be and which one you shouldn't. That's right, you ought to be a producer, not a consumer. And if there's one trap I see, especially these self-employed fall into, it's the consumer trap. Consuming content, thoughts, ideas. That's all great if you're educating yourself and reading books and listening to podcasts. But at some point, you need to stop consuming and start producing. I don't just mean results. I mean producing action, activity. Your own empire that you're building. Your business, whatever it might be, a passion project. You know, there are a lot of people who, what do you call it, the self-help industry, the shelf-help industry as I like to call it. It's a cottage industry of people making money off of perpetual consumers. They claim they're going to teach you how to be a producer. They're not teaching you how to produce anything. They're teaching you to be codependent on them and that dopamine drip of just getting affirmation, not information, and feeling good. So you just keep going back to that well and keep consuming, but you never actually produce anything. There are a lot of people that have dreams and aspirations. I think that's great. People who want to, be a radio host. So they study up on how to be a radio host. Well, here's something better you can do. Start a podcast. Start your own podcast. Everything you do sucks in the beginning. No one's really a natural at anything, no level of expertise at least. We all suck when we get started at whatever it is. Writing, podcasting, speaking, running a business, being a leader. We all suck in the beginning and we get better and we improve. And then, 10,000 hours, 10 years later, you become an expert, a 10-year overnight success. But you've got to start producing. You can't just consume. People want to, I'd love to have my own TV show, they say. Okay, well, start a YouTube channel. Start pushing out content. Do Instagram videos. Start producing something where you're never going to reach that ultimate goal. You've got to start producing. That's the best advice I can give anyone. It's going to be uncomfortable, but you got to start. Throw yourself into the fire. There's never been a better time for that. Because the democratization of media. The example I give you is there are people who have had musicians I know, professional musicians. They're probably household names you've heard of. I won't mention them by name because I don't think they probably want me sharing this. But it's true. So, one of the dreams and aspirations for your career as a musician has always been, I'd love to play the Jimmy Kimmel Show or the Tonight Show, or love to be featured on one of those late night talk shows, Jimmy Fallon, and just to be able to play a couple songs on one of those shows. So this is the dream because you think you'll be discovered. And then when that actually happens for you, and I've gotten this firsthand, it's happened for several people I know and I'm friends with. When it happens, it's anticlimactic because they realize two things. Number one, they didn't see a big bump in terms of their album sales, iTunes tracks, merch sales, website traffic in the hours, days, week after the show. But they had this big moment, this big appearance. And then there's another revelation. It cost us a lot of freaking money to get there. Yeah, it costs, depending on where your band is touring at the time, that you have, let's say, Jimmy Kimmel Show on your schedule, and you're bringing your whole band out to the show. You're moving 1, maybe 2 tour buses, an equipment truck that holds all your equipment, potentially across the country. Like, that could be upwards of $40,000 to $45,000. And for one artist, I know that's exactly what it was. And they didn't even see close to that sort of return on their appearance. Reality didn't live up to expectation. But what was far more lucrative for them was, as opposed to being a consumer and being on someone else's quote channel, was they started their own YouTube channel. They built it and grew it organically, developed a rabid following, albeit small initially, and it grew. And the videos they post, whether it's a podcast, a music video, a slice of life video of just, everyday life, whether it's on the tour bus, at home, in the studio. Those videos had more views, more likes, comments, more engagement, more fan engagement than that, quote, big appearance on the late night talk show. And it also serves to monetize their own channel because they're producers. They're not consumers. They're building their own empire. So my best advice for you is to take a page from that stadium status playbook and be a producer. Create your own channel. There's this old misnomer. If you build it, they will come. It's actually also a movie quote. If you build it, they will come. And if you know that movie quote, go ahead and put it in the comments. And if you don't, I'll give you a tip. It was a whisper heard from a cornfield in Iowa. If you build it, they will come. It's from the movie Field of Dreams. Here's the cornfield talking to Ray, the farm owner, who was convinced to mow down all of his crops and build a baseball field. If you haven't seen the movie, go see it. I won't ruin it for you. That's all I'm going to tell you. Anyway, that became a very popular catchphrase, business jargon. And most business jargon tends to be a total crock of horse schmanure. How's that for self-censorship? If you build it, they will come took place in a fictional movie. If you build it, they will come doesn't take place in real life. Not in the way you're thinking, perhaps. Maybe you're thinking along the right track and you're with me when it comes to being a real producer. What I'm talking about is if you build it, they will come. Like if you just do something, you'll be, quote, discovered. So when I say if you build it, they will come isn't valid, I'm not talking about your own channel. I'm talking about someone else discovering you and then, helping you become a household name. That doesn't happen. The whole discoverability thing, it really doesn't happen, or when it does happen, it is so rare, so few and far between that is not a plan. Hope is not an effective business strategy to hope to be discovered because you did something and you're hoping they will come find you. Far better to be a producer. Build your own channel, your own brand, your own empire, your own enterprise. Build that, and they actually will come. It'll be a viable business, monetizable, lucrative business model if you stick with it and you see You stay the course and you see it through. Far too many people build a little something and think, it didn't work. You ever hear the expression, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water; after enlightenment, chop wood, carry water? It's a reference to the daily discipline you have to have success in anything. Once you've arrived, keep doing the thing that got you there is sort of the what I take from that mantra: before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water; after enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. It's how you build, gain, and maintain and sustain success in anything. Chop wood, carry water every day. There's so much to be said for consistency in building and becoming a producer. Feels awkward, feels uncomfortable initially. Keep doing it. That's where the growth is. That's where a viable business model occurs. It's in your habits, your routines, your daily activities. That's my windshield wisdom for you today. If you found this to be of value, like, comment, and share, please. And if you want more of this content, head on over to CoachBrew.com. Sign up subscribe, if you will, to my daily e-news. It's actually not daily. I don't bombard you with trivial nonsense. I post articles, podcasts, insights, videos like this when it's timely and relevant and I have something of value to teach. Head on over there, sign up, top of the page, for the Daily Brew, which is my e-newsletter. And when you do that, you will receive complimentary issue of my premium newsletter reserved exclusively for my inner circle. It is a $99 a month value, that newsletter. You'll receive a free copy of that. It's called 12 Ways to Double Your Sales, Double Your Results, that issue, that digital download that you will receive. So if you head on over and grab that, I am confident that it will either save you time or money or make you money. And if it doesn't, I haven't done my job, and I encourage you to bend my ear about that. So head on over to CoachBrew.com, pick yourself up a copy of that, join my e-news list, and we'll catch you next time, either right here on this channel or, if you're smart, in your inbox. See you soon. This has been Windshield Wisdom. And remember, be a producer, not a consumer.